Hi there everyone, this is Darren from SimNation. Just doing a quick video for WWCF, which is our bowl-bound college football league here at SimNation. This is the oldest league at SimNation, and it is a really good league. We have a lot of great owners. If you want to go out and get bowl-bound college football and want to join us, we are more than happy to. I think they have a Steam edition if I remember correctly. The only challenge, the reason why I don't often recommend it is because the game hasn't really been updated since 2006. It uses old GUIs. It's an old Visual Basic program, which makes life hell for me as a commissioner. But it is a game that's very near and dear to my heart. I love this game, and I've continued to play it. We have a great core of coaches in WWCF. We used to actually have two leagues, GDCFL and WWCF. I merged them a few years back just because I wanted to have more coaches in the league and make it more competitive. But if you're interested, let me know. I'll drop the links inside this video. But getting back to the main reason for the video, it's championship week for WWCF. It's two teams that know each other extremely well. They play a lot against each other. It's the University of Maryland, which is coached by me, versus Texas Tech, which is coached by Miral. Miral is probably the best coach in this league. I put him up there, probably S tier, along with Mike, both Mikes. Ironically, it's all three Mikes. But Mike Smigo and Mike Cart are other ones I put up in that S tier. John is in an A tier, who's the coach of Michigan. But that's only because he just came back. When he left, I would have had him at an S tier as well. But you have people like Marcus, who are really, really good coaches. David, who's the coach of Georgia. You have, we have a couple Davids. The coach of Georgia, who's David, and then you have Dave, who's at Georgia Tech. And you have a bunch of other really, really strong coaches in this league as well. Shark at one point was in this league. I think he was at Ohio State, or that may have been GDCFL. But Shark was a really strong coach in this league as well. And then historically, you had some of the coaches like Mike Dills, who was the commissioner for a long period of time. You had Danny Zartuski, who never won a championship, but probably was the most influential coach in terms of passing offenses. You had OK Bandit, otherwise Askell, who now works with Wolverine Games, who also was another great coach in this league. But Texas Tech, Maryland, they play each other every year during the regular season. It's a long-standing rivalry between these two teams. They are probably the two most prolific teams in terms of championships. Texas Tech, of course, is one of the most prolific teams in the Big 12 in terms of winning championships, and Maryland is a team that most ACC teams wish would move to the Big 10. Now, they are two different styles of offenses. Maryland is a go at you with the pass. They are going to throw the ball all day long at you. And then they can run the ball, and then on defense, their strength normally is in rushing defense, which will bode well against Texas Tech. Texas Tech is more balanced than they've been in a while. They do have Johnson, who is a really good quarterback, but they have arguably one of the best running backs in Dixon. And if they can establish the run, it's going to be a long day for Maryland. Texas Tech does have the better defense. They have a really good secondary, which is going to be really important when you go up against Maryland in the wide receiver core. So let's look at Maryland first, and then we'll go over to Texas Tech. Let's start with the historicals. And this is kind of one of those things I wish that they would fix, but they're not going to. Let me find Maryland here. So annoying thing about bowl-bound college football is after 35 years or 35 seasons, the database craps out, and you have to recreate the league file. So that's what happened in 2034, is we got corruption, and I had to recreate that league file. And we'll have to do it again in the relatively near future, because I'm already starting to see corruption. But what you can see here is multiple national titles for Maryland. They had, that's like 8 just in that. And before 2034, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Maryland has 15 titles in total since 2000. You see that they don't often lose, although in the last couple years they've struggled a little bit more. They did make it to the championship game this year, but they also, since winning the championship in 2052, have struggled a little bit with getting back. Mostly because they keep running into teams that are essentially their kryptonite on the way in. I'm going to just stay in the screen real quick before I pivot to Maryland to show you the stats, only because this is going to be a little bit harder if I don't. But you can see here with Texas Tech, again, a long history of success. And this doesn't count for Miro's success at Rutgers. He also has Rutgers, who has won, I think, like 4 or 5 titles, maybe 4. On top of this, so this is why I say Miral may be the best coach in the league. But you see here that they have won 5 national titles. They've been in the championship game a lot. They've won a lot of Big 12 championships. And this is in a league that has both Mike Schmigo and Mike Hart in it. Mike's at Rice. Schmigo is at Texas. It's not easy to win in this. And now you have, on the opposite side, you have me at Baylor. Plus you have David, I think, at Oklahoma State. It's a tough league to win. It's arguably one of the strongest leagues outside of the SEC that we have. So lots of success. Earlier this year, Texas Tech played Maryland. Maryland did edge Texas Tech out for the win, largely based on the throwing power of Avery. But let's just go here and we'll show the stats right there. So what you can see here is, like I said, Maryland has thrown for over 5,000 yards this season, over 43 touchdowns against only 44 touchdowns against 15 interceptions. Branch is the guy. He won the starting job later in the season. You see a lot of Avery in this if Branch gets hurt, and he gets hurt a lot, unfortunately. But when I talk about the receiving core, what you see quickly is they have 2 receivers with over 100 receptions in Weinstein and Sipe. But you have to keep an eye on Gordon. Parker is an all-purpose back. He'll come out of the backfield, and he can make a lot of plays. Just in general, it's not uncommon for 4 to 5 players to get 7 or more receptions. It's not uncommon for 2 to 3 players to get more than 100 yards. They do spread the ball very, very well. Defensively, not a great defensive squad this year. You see here, not a lot of sacks. They are good at stuffing the run, which is going to be important against Miral and Texas Tech. They've got to stop the run. If they don't, they're going to have a long day. They do cause a lot of fumbles. That's their main source of getting turnovers. Keep an eye on Salata. But generally speaking, they're not going to pick the ball off. If you look at Texas Tech, and of course Maryland's one loss this season was to Mississippi State, which was Mike Hart. If you look at Texas Tech, again, their passing game is not their strength, but they can throw the ball. Johnson is a good quarterback, and you may see Miral try to throw the ball to try to throw me off. Just like I may try to run the ball to throw Miral off. But as you can see, Dixon is he's averaging 193 yards per game. He is a monster to deal with. And even in the game that Maryland won, they weren't able to keep him from going over 100 yards. And I think both losses this year for Texas Tech were to me. They lost to Maryland in week 2 and then lost to Baylor in week 4. The Baylor game was just if you like defensive games, that was a defensive game. The final was like 11-6. No one scored a touchdown. And the differentiation was that I think I kicked 1 more field goal successfully and got a safety versus Miral. And then even in that game, they didn't keep Dixon under 100 yards, even though the whole game was dedicated to shutting down the run. Receivers, you can see blue normally means 5-star or a blue chipple. Green is normally a 4-star. Yellow is a 3-star. They have a really, really strong line who will road grade people. And then when you look at the defense, what you'll see really quickly is they get lots of sacks. Hawthorne and Herndon are two guys to keep an eye on. They will sack tons of people. They're also able to stuff the run if they need to. And then when you look here, is they do have the ability to pick the ball off. So the strengths of this game are going to be Maryland is going to throw the ball more than likely. Texas Tech is probably going to predominantly run the ball. Both teams' defense are actually built in a way that would stop the other. So it'll be an exciting game. Game plays on Tuesday. If you want to join this league, let me know. Again, Ball Bound is a fun league to play as long as you're okay with playing the game that was really essentially created in 2006. But good luck to Miral on this one. It should be a really great game. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually stream it. Ball Bound doesn't really make that easy. So that's it for now. Hopefully you like this video. If you want me to see me do more videos with Ball Bound, let me know. It's a little bit harder to stream, but I'm willing to put in the work. So have a great night. Thanks.